Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke. I'm the sewing specialist here at Fons & Porter. In this Quilting Quickly tutorial, I'm going to show you how to put together the simple blocks for the quilt called Pretty Poppy. If you'd like to purchase this pattern, please visit our website. We're going to be using a really gorgeous stylized poppy print, a large print. We're using strips from the whole entire line so that you get that watercoloring effect in the background. Then we're using an accent of kind of a charcoal gray, kind of looks like almost like a dandelion that's gone to seed, and then finish with a great red border. So in order to get started from that stylized large print, because sometimes you find a line of fabric that has a large print and you're thinking, how do I use that? This is perfect for that. You're going to be cutting those 8.5 inch squares that go into the center of those focus blocks that we have here. And we're going to be using, let me move these out of the way just for a moment. Here we go. We're going to be then taking some of those strips that your instructions have you cut of the dark charcoal, and we're going to be adding strips to each side. We always do side to side first. Just kind of the mode of operation here is side to side. And when you get those on, you press your seam allowances toward the dark. Then you've got a bar that goes to the top and the bottom. And you're going to create the 12 of those that go in the center of the quilt. In this case, there's not really a need to fussy cut the poppy because the flower is so large it appears throughout the entire piece. You could fussy cut, but you would have to adjust your yardage for that just a bit. But it's kind of fun just to have that large piece kind of floating in those frames in the center of the quilt. The next portion that we're going to create are those little tiny, almost like pixelated background pieces. What we need to do is create pieces that are 2 by 5 in squares and 4 by 4s. These become cornerstones, these become sashing. And in order to create those, what we're going to be doing is creating strip sets. So those 2.5 inch strips get used really efficiently. We're putting together strip sets 2 at a time, and you can go through the strip sets and match up any color combination you want. The dark charcoal gray is in the strip set, but are in the pre-cut strips, but we kind of pulled those out because we wanted just to have that dark charcoal in the framing of the large print. So what we did is just did pinks, mostly pinks and greens, as strip sets of 2. Now in order to create the ones for the 4 patch, I'm going to put these right sides together. I've got 2 strip sets already created. I'm nesting them together, and then I'm going to cut off the units that I need for my 4 patch. And then they'll be matched up and ready to go right to the sewing machine right away. Now these are cut at 2.5 inches. So I'm going to overcut my first one because the edges aren't perfectly straight here. I'm lining up a line on my ruler with a stitching line in my strip set, making my first cut, rotating this around. Now I'm matching it up with the 2.5 inch line here. Again, kind of keeping an eye on that seam line so that I get perfect units that can go right to the sewing machine. And then I would just go down the line, creating the number of cornerstones, which are 4 patches, that I need for my project. So once you have those, you take those to the sewing machine, seam those along one side and press open, and you have your cornerstones. The same thing is going to be happening with this larger strip sets here, except that we're putting together, instead of just 2 strips, we're putting together 5. So you want to mix up your pinks and greens, or the fabrics of your choice. Again, you can do the same thing, right sides together. And if you've pressed all of your seam allowance on one strip set in one direction, all the seam allowance in the opposite direction on the second, as you match them up, you could have them ready to go. But in order to keep it really scrappy, you may want to cut them each individually because you don't want to, maybe you don't want to pair them. There are quite a few different strip sets you're going to be creating with 5 in them. So go according to the pattern, cut the number of units, subunits you need, and then join 2 together in a seam like this. Press your seams to one side, and you've got the sashing. So now what you've created in the top corner of your quilt block or quilt layout is a cornerstone like this, and this becomes your sashing here and then again here. A lot of times when we think of sashing, we think of a solid piece of fabric, but it can be pieced also. If you'd like to see more of our Quilting Quickly tutorials, please visit our website. Thanks for joining me today.